The Glass Flower, read for you by Claudia Black. Once, when I was just a girl in the first flush of my true youth, a young boy gave me a glass flower as a token of his love. He was a rare and precious boy, though I confess that I have long forgotten his name. So too was the flower he gave me. On the steel and plastic worlds where I have spent my lives, the ancient glassblower's art is lost and forgotten, but the unknown artisan who had fashioned my flower remembered it well. My flower has a long and delicate stem, curved and graceful, all of fine, thin glass, and from that frail support, the bloom explodes, as large as my fist, impossibly exact. Every detail is there, caught, frozen in crystal for eternity. Petals, large and small, crowding each other, bursting from the center of the blossom in a slow, transparent riot, surrounded by a crown of 6 wide, drooping leaves, each with its tracery of veins intact, each unique. It was as if an alchemist had been wandering through a garden one day and in a moment of idle play had transmuted an especially large and beautiful flower into glass. All that it lacks is life. I kept that flower with me for near 200 years, long after I had left the boy who gave it to me in the world where he had done the giving. Through all the varied chapters of my lives, the glass flower was always close at hand. It amused me to keep it in a vase of polished wood and set it near a window. Sometimes the leaves and petals would catch the sun and flash brilliantly for an incandescent instant. At other times they would filter and fracture the light, scattering blurred rainbows on my floor. Often towards dusk, when the world was dimmer, the flower would seem to fade entirely from view, and I might sit staring at an empty vase. Yet, when the morning came, the flower would be back again. It never failed me. The glass flower was terribly fragile, but no harm ever came to it. I cared for it well, better perhaps than I have ever cared for anything or anyone. It outlasted a dozen lovers, more than a dozen professions, and more worlds and friends than I can name. It was with me in my youth on Ash and Erican and Shamdizar, and later on Rogue's Hope and Vagabond, and still later when I had grown old on Damtullion and Lilith and Gulliver. And when I finally left human space entirely, put all my lives and all the worlds of men behind me, and grew young again, the glass flower was still at my side. And at very long last, in my castle built on stilts, in my house of pain and rebirth, where the game of mind is played, amid the swamps and stinks of Crow and Denny, far from all humanity save those few lost souls who seek us out. It was there too, my glass flower. On the day Cloronymus arrived.